Hi, I'm Eric Summerer, and here's what's coming from the Dice Tower this week.
Tom Vasel here, and welcome to something completely different, something new, or something that's kind of an evolution of what I've done in the past. I've been putting out a weekly Monday news segment, and as time has gone by, it's evolved a little bit. I've done segments showing you games on my shelf. I've done segments where I've had some musings and rants of the week, and then I thought, why not add more? So today you're going to see a little bit of that, where we add a few different segments in this show, and I have a lot of people who are going to be contributing. Some of them you've seen on other shows or before, others are brand new, and if you're interested, please let me know. I'll certainly take ideas and clips from all different folks. Now, I do need a new name for this show. I thought maybe, Monday Mornings with the Dice Tower, or I don't know. I'm trying to think of some catchy name, so you can email me at tomvasel@gmail.com, and if you pick the first person to send me a name that I like, boom, contest over, and I'll send you a couple pairs of Dice Tower dice. So that's exciting, and I hope you enjoy them, and hopefully we'll fix our incoming and outgoing credits as time goes by to match these, but until that point, let's get to the news. But before we get to the news, I did want to remind you guys that there is a little over 1 week to still bid, in the Jack Vasel Memorial Auction on Board Game Geek. Guys, it's amazing. The amount of money raised by this year's auction has already exceeded the last year's, and there's still a week to go, and it's just some really cool stuff. Rich Sommer, Jorge Garcia, and Will Wheaton. You can play games with them. That's up there. Several of the giant Takinoko sets. I mean, there is just a plethora of, one of the really cool items that caught my eye is someone has an unpunched copy of Cosmic Encounter, the first edition, the one that was sent to Sid Saxon to review, with a letter from Jack Kittredge, the designer of Cosmic Encounter. That's like a piece of gaming history right there. Really, really cool. So anyhow, you can go. There's a link. We'll put a link at the bottom of this video, and we'll also have a link at our website, dicetower.com. All right, let's get the show started. For board gaming news for this week, first of all, several exciting projects are on Kickstarter, including Privateer, which is a game that I'll be doing a preview of, and you'll see that very shortly. A family game where you're moving around with ships and attacking other players and attacking merchant ships and trading resources. The Heat, which is an expansion for one of my favorite cooperative games, Police Precinct. Crossmaster Arena, which is already smashing through records. This is a sequel/expansion to the original Crossmaster, except this one looks like it takes place in the snowy regions and has lots of cool things added to that. Very much looking forward to this one. A surprise to me, but a welcome surprise, is Roll Through the Ages Iron Age. The original Roll Through the Ages was called Roll Through the Ages of Bronze Age. This one looks very similar. If you look here at the sheet, the scoring sheet for this game, if you've not played it before, it's a sort of Yahtzee where you roll dice and use the symbols that you've rolled to score on a sheet. Very, very fun game, so hopefully this one will be the same thing. And then Big Angry Monsters, which has some pretty cool artwork of monsters. These are giant monsters that are rampaging around and fighting one another. That's certainly the in thing these days, and it is certainly a theme that I'm drawn to. Outside of Kickstarter, we have Z-Man has announced Pandemic the Cure, which is a dice version of Pandemic. In essence, you roll dice each turn. It will give you actions that you can take. Other dice will be rolled to spread the epidemic. Will this rival the board game? I don't know, but with the popularity of the board game, certainly a lot of people are going to look at this. We won't see this till next year, 2014. Ender's Game, which looks like it's based on the battle room part of the movie of Ender's Game, is coming from Cryptozoic. A new thing called Smash, that's SMAASH.me. This is a brand new social media website that's for board games or gaming in general. I guess it includes board games. It's currently in beta, but what it's supposed to be is it's like a social media website where you can post things that have happened in gaming. Ooh, I beat my friend Bob today. Better put that here. Oh, look how many points we got on the table. It sounds like this could either really be interesting for people or not take off at all. I have no idea, but you can sign up to be involved in the beta. And let's see some other things that are coming out from Fantasy Flight. The Lure of the Dark Side, another one of their Star Wars card game expansion. This one has Dash Rendar in it, which is cool. Double Time for Netrunner will be coming out, and which you can there's a lot of these double down cards. Gambling theme, I like that. And more Lieutenant packs they've announced. So it looks like that Lieutenant thing, we'll be seeing that for a while.
Hi, this is Steve Avery. I've just gotten back from Mace 17. This is my first time in Mace, and it's a gaming convention that's held in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, every year. This year it was the 15th through the 17th. I've got to say it was a wonderful convention. It was a fairly large convention, but it had a small convention feel because of the smaller rooms, and there were all the conference rooms were spread out along one long winding hallway, so you could just kind of wander around and jump into all sorts of things. Miniature gaming, role-playing games, there was a LARP room, there was an Artemis room, there was several board gaming rooms there, a vendor's room, a really well done, well organized convention, both with ticketed and organized gaming. If you ever get a chance to go to Mace, I highly recommend it. So here's a little snippet of what was in store at Mace this year. Board games were well represented with one larger ballroom. There was also a respectable library and several smaller rooms dedicated just for board games. Both classics and several new prototypes were being played throughout. Here we have the modern classic Battlestar Galactica. Looks like Nate's the toaster. And here we have Duncan Davis teaching his new game, In the City Origins. Looks like it's very well received. Cool Mini or Not sent a demo team down. And there was an interesting variety of vendors, both in the main hallway and in the vendors hall. The miniature room was completely packed. There wasn't a time when it went empty. I always love seeing the variety of miniatures and the terrains that everybody sets up. Mace was a great time filled with great people. Here's Robert Burke demoing Battle for Souls, which was just released, and Offensive Name Band Generator, which is on Kickstarter now.
In this segment, folks, I'm going to talk about our sponsor is Cool Stuff Games, and I'm going to talk about games that you can expect to see from them very shortly, hopefully within the next week. Now, I will give this disclaimer every time I do it. This is not guaranteed. We are never sure when games are going to come out, so this is just hopefulness. Don't put too much stock in this, but this is what might come out this week. We might see the expansion for the Duke. Arthurian Legends come out. The new map for Ticket to Ride Netherlands, which is very exciting to always see new maps for Ticket to Ride come out. That's coming soon. And that Ender's Game that I mentioned back in the news segment, Battle School, will be coming out. Mice and Mystics, Heart of Glorm. I've reviewed this one in the past. A very fun expansion with a great story in it for Mice and Mystics. The expansion packs for Star Wars, the Second Summoners for both the Fallen Kingdom and Vanguard. Very much enjoy both of those. You should check them out. Kings of Artifice, a newer game, and Infamy, as well as The Capitals. So these are all games that you should expect to see in this upcoming week. last week. As always, I go with cool stuff because they sponsor our show, and we'll see what games have come out that you might be interested in. First of all, a pile of the Descent Lieutenants have come out. If you don't know what these are, you get a plastic figure of a Descent Lieutenant. These are like powerful creatures who can wreak havoc in campaigns, and now they have new rules where you can put them in a campaign even if they're not the big bad guy. Boxcars from Rio Grande. Mage Knight Resurrection from WizKids, which is, well, it's what the name says. It's a resurrection of the old game Mage Knight, which came out over a decade, maybe a decade ago. And now it's switch clicks, so you can take them off their bases from this new game of Mage Knight and put them. They also come with Hero Clicks bases, so you'll be able to use them with the other Hero Clicks figures or in this new game Mage Knight. Bootleggers, which has been out of print for a while, is now being produced along with a new expansion, which I'm very excited about because I've always liked Bootleggers. Dixit Origins, which has come out, which 84 more cards for Dixit. More cards is always good. Expedition Northwest Passage from Asmodee, even more exciting, originally from Matago, one of my favorite publishers. Magic the Gathering has a holiday gift box because it's time to sell more Magic stuff. Why not? Comes with some packs, some lands, and a space for 2,000 cards. Hegemonic came out with it's up to 6 players Space 4X game. Although to tell you folks, it's really more of a kind of like a 6-player abstract strategy game. It has a theme there, but it's very different than other games. I'll be doing a review of it shortly. You'll have to watch that to see what I think. And Cookie Foo Grand Buffet Pack came out. Monkey and Crane, so another expansion for Cookie Foo. I'm still not sure the appeal of this game. Not a big fan of it myself, but it's out, so get it if you want.
Hello my friends, it's the Gameboy Geek here. I want to talk to you today about what I feel is the most misunderstood game in the history of Earth. It's a game that most gamers hate, but you probably have it. It's a game that most non-gamers hate, but they probably have a few copies. I'm going to talk to you today about Monopoly and why it is I feel the most misunderstood game. You ask anybody why they don't like it and they say it takes too long. Well, here's the reason why it takes too long. Because house rules aren't always the best thing in games. Sure, they work in some games, but they don't work in Monopoly. You know what? They don't call it on the box the, hey, let's roll and move and put extra money on free parking so it takes forever to play a game. That's not what it says. It actually says it's the property dealing and trading game. You're supposed to be trading. You're supposed to be negotiating. It's not about rolling and moving. It's about interaction and making a deal. It's not about rolling. So if you make it about rolling and moving and you just put extra money on free parking all the time and you are just like the government, you're just printing more money to make everybody's game last longer than it should. Did you know that the tournaments of Monopoly, they don't last longer than 90 minutes? They actually have a cap because when you play with expert players or players that actually know how to play the game and like to negotiate, a game shouldn't last longer than 90 minutes. They stop them at 90 minutes because most all of them should. That's not a long game. Now granted, even if you do play right, and even if you do understand all the odds and the probabilities, and even if you make it more about negotiation than anything else because that's what it's really about, you still might not like the game. And that's okay. It's not for everybody. Just like any other negotiation game, like Nothing Personal, Article 27, a lot of these negotiation games, they're awesome. I love them. People that love negotiation games love them, but it's not for everybody, and neither is Monopoly. But it is misunderstood. So if you take that with a grain of salt, and you understand the probabilities, did you know, which space is the mostly wide, landed on? Do you know that jail's the second most logical place that you're going to end up? Do you know that the orange properties, monopolies, are landed on more than anything else? When you have the data and the statistics and the mathematical probabilities, and you mix those up with people that actually know how to play and know how to negotiate, and the negotiation is really the part of the game and it's over with 90 minutes or less, you might give this another look. Now, I'm not saying that Monopoly is an amazing game, it's the best game ever. I'm not even saying it will last, it'll make my top 100. But I am saying that it gets a bad rap, and it's because people use the wrong rules. They think it's about rolling and moving when it's really about how fast can I bankrupt everybody else. You want it to be the shortest game ever, and your negotiation skills should show that, and your non-house rules should show that. So next time someone says, you want to play a game of Monopoly? Maybe you should play it with me at BGG Con coming up. And maybe you'll have a different turn, maybe you have a different liking for this game. It's not excellent, it's not the best thing ever, but it does get a bad rap.
Once again, we hope to have a lot of reviews for you this week. Now, at least with me, I know there will be several reviews because I've already recorded them and uploaded them. I know that these are some. We have Trieste, which is a pretty cool 3-player game. Raver Run, Fire Dragon, The 7 Days of Westerplatte, that will be a Miami Dice review. Goblins Incorporated, Empires of Zidal, Ultimate One Night Werewolf. Let's see, the Fantastic Four Legendary Marvel Expansion, Worlds of Tanks Rush, Quest for Destiny, Kings Under Mountains, Outcast Hero, Walking Dead, the board game, and I also plan to talk about the new Star Wars Attack Wing ship models. Here I have the Excelsior, which is always a cool ship. And I'll be taking a look at Kaboom also, and Tash Kalar, the new game from Vlada Shavato. Also, my team of reviewers will have several other reviews for you this week. And so we hope to keep, there should be about 4 or 5 reviews each day. I hope you guys enjoy them.
David's Board Shorts presents David's Gaming Glossary. Let's learn together. Today's word is children. Children are the reason you keep your board games up on the top shelf.
In the Dice Tower Network, we have several podcasts that have come out. You want to know about some mechanisms in board games? If you want to know about area control, you'll check out Ludology number 69, where that's what they talk about. And if you want to know about deck builders, you'll listen to On Board Games, number 120. If you want to know about how a company delegates stuff around, that was a question Eric Summer wondered about, and now Plaid Hat answers that in episode 113. We'll look at some specific games. Exploring Games, number 17, takes a look at Kings of Israel, currently on Kickstarter. And the Blue Peg, Pink Peg show, number 10, takes a look at one of my favorite game, Cosmic Encounter, and they also answer the question, why do we play? Party Gamecast number 22 takes a look at voting games. And Geek All-Stars number 64 takes a look at, has an interview with Ben Russett, who has Brewcrafters also on Kickstarter. Dice Tower Showdown will be coming out this Friday, in which we talk about, we have people debating promos or exclusive promos. Are they good or bad for the hobby? I'm sure you have opinions on that one. And Mage Wars versus Summoner Wars. Dice Tower has a new show coming out tomorrow. In fact, I'm excited about our show coming out tomorrow, in which we talk about our favorite team games. But I'm also excited about next week. We will be doing our live show from Board Game Geek Con. A quick note about Board Game University. I'll mention this on that channel. Board Game University went on hiatus last week and this week. Just because I need to catch up on interviews. There's a lot of things going on. But don't worry, the podcast is not going away. Plenty of interviews I have ready to go. So that will be coming, and probably will be back. Hopefully we'll post one on Thanksgiving. If not, it'll be back the following week all the way through the rest of the year. So those are our shows. You can find all that at DicetowerNetwork.com.
Hello, my name is Damien and this is my garage. And today we're going to show you some ideas for player aids to help new players and old players alike learn the game and also help the game go quicker and have fun. All these files can be found on BoardGameGeek.com. And again, the purpose of this is just to give some quick ideas to help you guys move along and have fun. Alright, let's give you a couple things real quickly. On a game like Power Grid, there's lots of great files. It's a difficult game, medium to heavy game. A lot of fun, but lots of great files online that people have taken the time to upload. An example of that would be simply the money. Money that comes with the game, a little chintzy. Also, it reveals what you have to your opponents. Now, some people use poker chips. I prefer to use actual paper. All I did was go online, download the file, and then put it up on cardstock. So my opponent can't tell what I have, and yet I still have a quality component that I can utilize. Another idea is to develop player aids to help people use these games quicker and learn them quicker. An example like that would be, this is a game from Upper Deck called Marvel Legendary. What I did here was I put up a play map that somebody took the time to upload. It simply says draw, discard, and there's where you put your victory pile, and it shows you different factions in the game. It also gives you how to play the game. Great player aid, helps the game go quicker. And again, you may find this simplistic, but again, a person that's new to a deck building game could really find this helpful. And you don't have to download some. You can develop your own type of player aid. Again, this is a playmat that I made. All I did was print up the paper and then use some spray adhesives and glue it to some poster board. Printed this right off of Microsoft Word. Again, this is for the DC deck builder game. And again, it just says discard and draw and a little place to put your hero card. Nothing complicated, but it can make the game go by quicker, and more importantly, they can learn it quicker. Last but not least, we've got a game, Android Netrunner, which has a very steep learning curve. And again, all I did was go online, print up the paper, use some spray adhesive and put it on, spray it onto the poster board that I have here. And again, you can see it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I've got some errors here, but nobody cares. All it does is add to the game and help the game go along quicker, so you don't have to know where the rig is and where your archives are and HQ and stuff like that. Some other things you can do, again, you can get even more sophisticated. You can go online, print up new boards. For example, here's DC Deck Builder. Went ahead and printed this up on regular paper and used my spray adhesive and went ahead and put it on good old foam board. Again, nothing complicated. The only extra little something I did was I added some art tape just to hold it down a little bit better. But again, the spray adhesive will work well. So it helps enhance the gaming experience, make it fun for everybody. And that's the goal. I've got some other ideas. People online, any game you have out there, people have probably done some type of nuance to it, make it a new and different experience. This is Wild Wild West Ticket to Ride as an example. So long story short is, again, you can make it easy, make it fun, play the game, and appreciate your time. Have a great day.
I don't have any kind of musings on this week. I just wanted to talk a little bit about BoardGameGeek.com, BGG.Con. Now, that's been out for several years now, and because I lived in Korea for many of those years and also was a teacher, it's very difficult to get away the week before Thanksgiving, which is when BoardGameGeek.Con is held. It's just the way it is. You know, whenever a convention has any sort of date, no one's going to be happy. For example, Dice Tower Con, we have ours over the July 4th weekend, which is great for some people, not so great for others. But I was able to go for the first time last year to BoardGameGeek.Con, and it really is an amazing convention. There really is just a ton of games, more games to play. Their game library is probably the biggest in the world. Now, granted, a good chunk of it is worthless because it is, you know, every game in the world. There's a lot of bad ones out there, but it doesn't matter. Some of the cool features at the convention is they have a hot games room where they have games that are already set up on tables. So you don't, when you're done with the game, you don't put it away. You just move to a different table. And so that game is one. Let's say, for example, Nations or Caverna. These are games that are very popular that were just released at the Essen Fair. And so people really want to play these. And so they're all spread out and set up there for people to play. You just play it and then you move to another table. That way, someone can't take that game and hog it forever. And it's a good way and it works really well. And that is a room that I certainly kept my nose in. They also have lots of other things, huge math trades, huge flea markets, and just, you know, open gaming as far as the eye can see. I want to say there's over 2,000 people going to be there. It's in Dallas, Texas. It's already full up, but you can, you know, prepare to go next year, I suppose. But it really is a lot of fun. Now, I'll be giving some more thoughts next week, kind of on my overall impressions of this one. I am excited about going there. If you are at Board Game Geek Con, if you're planning to go this year, I certainly hope that you will come by and say hello. Eric and I will be recording a live show there. A tradition we started last year. I hope to keep it up, where we do 2-minute interviews with people, and they come on and talk for 2 minutes, and then we kick them off. We also have something interesting on which you'll just have to be there to find out. Hopefully I'll also be able to do my Flower Fall impromptu tournament where we drop cards, 2 stories. I'm mostly there just to hang out and have fun. We might do a little bit of videoing. We might even shoot some videos and upload them to this channel, but don't hold me to that. It all depends on internet connections and things like that. But it is a fun convention. It is certainly one that you should think and take a look at. I'll try to video a lot of it, so when it's over, give you kind of an idea of what it was. But anyway, I'm very excited about it. So I'll be kind of offline for much of this week being there. But like I said in my review things, hopefully I have enough reviews uploaded so that you'll be kept entertained for those of you who can't go. But if you can find the time to go, consider it for next year.
Ah, lovely cubes. Lovely cubes. Dice, yeah. So random. Oh, hi. I'm Marcus Boyce, or Lord Splodge D20 on YouTube, and I'm here to talk to you about boxes and storage. No, wait, seriously, don't switch off. It's important if you're a relative newcomer to the hobby like I am. You'll rapidly run out of storage space, and I'm going to show you why. So let's have a look at the game collection. When I first started into the hobby, I bought 2 games. The first one is Small World, and the one after that was Ticket to Ride. And they come in what's known as Ticket to Ride style boxes. They're square, lovely. Stack on the shelf, just like that. You got lots of games like this, Memoir 44, and so on. And then I started getting into Euro games because that's what I like. So you tend to get this style box, which again stacks vertically, so not a problem. And then you start getting strange stuff. Here's Lords of Waterdeep, excellent worker placement game. The lid has to be held on with an elastic band because, well, it's a stupid design. From there, things only go downhill. 1775, wonderful game. Got lots of trays for keeping lots and lots of lovely cubes in. You can't store it vertically, not without resorting to modification and using little tubs to keep the cubes in so they don't fall out. Great. Even more downhill, Pathfinder, the adventure card game. Great. Giant box, fits on my shelf, but you can't store this vertically. If I was to tip this up, all the hundreds of cards that are neatly stored would fall out. So, again, problem. From that point, we move into what can only be described as the realms of insanity. Look at this. The Carcassonne 10th Anniversary Edition. Shaped like a meeple. Great. Useless. Not bother. Zombie dice. Round. Rolls off. Forbidden Island and Desert. Tin. Can't store those. Finally, we have X-Wing and Star Trek Attack Wing. Wonderful games. I've got many tens of models. Can't fit them in a box anyway. They have to go on the shelf and transport around in a Plano box. Well, as you can see, if you're new to the hobby, storing games is rapidly going to become an issue as that acquisition disorder hits hard. Thanks for watching.
Well, that's it. Now, this is a work in progress. You know, some of these segments, this may be the only time you see that. You may see more of them in the future. We don't know what happened. Well, obviously, we'll have to work on our cuts in between the videos and things. But I'm very excited about this because I think it has the opportunity to become something cool. It's basically a mirror image of my own video podcast. My audio podcast, The Dice Tower, except this is a video one. So we'll have to wait and see how it works out. Please give comments in the section. I hope you try it. And don't forget, if you think of a good name for this, I want to get a name going next week so we don't have to keep waiting on that. So just email me about that. So anyhow, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel. Appreciate everything that you guys do. We so much enjoy that you like watching this channel. Lots of great content coming. The year is not over yet. Let's do it.
To find out more about all of our podcasts, check out DicetowerNetwork.com. To see a listing of our videos, head to Dicetower.com. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Cool Stuff Incorporated, where you can buy games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock.